Hey everyone! Happy New Year! My name is Adi, and in this video we will paint this bow. I'll be using watercolor, but you can choose other medium if you wish. First, I want to show you an easy way to draw bows. Bow is made from a square and two ellipses. Each ellipse has a part in the shape of a drop on the side, and it has a parallel line that connects to the drop. The width of the ribbon can change because of the way it rolls up. The square is divided into triangles. Here we have a negative space. The bow is in a very light color of purple, but the watercolor I have here is very dark. To make a color lighter with watercolor, we usually use water. But if you don't want your color to be too watery, you can mix it with white watercolor like I did. In this tutorial, I will use white gouache to create the highlights, so I just cover all the bow with a base layer without keeping the white area white. The color dries quickly because I didn't use a lot of water. Now I will add different shades. Keep the light areas in the color of the base layer. Make the surroundings darker. Gradually make the shadows darker. I wanted to show you my palette. That way you can see that there isn't much water in the paint that I'm using. It's easier to control the paint. If you want to use acrylic or oil colors, then it's better to mix the different shades in advance, just like we did in the tutorial about the fabric, and to create sections of each shade instead of working with layers. Here are examples of bows that I painted with oil colors. Watercolor and ink are transparent. That's why we can use the same paint to build up the darkness with each layer, without losing the previous layers. After I lay down the paint, I wipe off the paint from the brush and go with the brush that is now clean on the edges of the paint that I placed to make the edges softer. That way we will get smoother transitions. We already talked in previous videos about how important are light and shadow to make something look realistic and three-dimensional. In this case, the ribbon is shiny too, so creating contrast is really important. Do you remember how to create thin lines? Dip the tip of the brush in color and use the tip to paint, or switch to a smaller brush. It's dark at the end of the tip of the drop. The bottom of the square of the ribbon is lighter. The white of the paper is reflected in it. In the round areas of the bow, the highlights can look round too. To make this part feel like it's climbing up and floating above the surface, we will use the shadow that the ribbon cast. This purple is really dark, so I can easily create dark shadow with it. If you want to paint a ribbon in different color, and you see that your color is not dark enough, you will have to use a different color for the shadows. It's always better that the color of the shadow is similar to the color. We talked about it in the video about color. You can see there examples too. The right side is darker. The sides of the ribbon has dots on them. I add dark dots with a thin brush. We don't always see the sides of the ribbon because of the way it's swirling. There are threads going out in different directions in the edge of the ribbon. The more you look at a ribbon, the more you see how complex it is. I really love drawing ribbons. Before we move on to adding the highlights, I want to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel, commenting, sharing my tutorials and pressing the like button. I hope you will have a wonderful and artistic year. I only dip the tip of the brush in the gouache. If the paint doesn't move smoothly, you can add a bit water, but don't add too much water because we need an opaque white. What makes the texture of the ribbon is the diagonal lines on it. Because we see both the inner part and the outer part of the ribbon, the direction of the lines changes. They sometimes go from the top left to the bottom right, and sometimes from the top right to the bottom left. You can make the lines go out of the lighter area. I also add white dots on the sides of the ribbon. I use different colors to create the shadow. That way it will not look like a flat block of color. I used grey, magenta and purple. In the places where the ribbon touches the paper, the shadow is closer and darker. And in the places where the ribbon is in the air, the shadow will be further away and lighter. I think it's good to add touches of color when using watercolor. Bright colors especially add interest. Having too much gray can look depressing, so it's better to mix it with other colors. I go with the colors of the shadow over some areas of the ribbon to make a connection between them. I don't want the transition between the shadow and the light part of the bottom of the square to be harsh, so I go with the shadow a little bit over the light part. And that's it. You can let me know in the comments what else you would like to learn. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.